like it?
I'm in the plus 80 range. I'm in the plus 80 range since February, since really signing day. So it feels better. It feels better being outside and running around with our players and trying to keep high energy even practices. And last week we had a couple marathon deals, and I didn't drop, so that was a good thing. Potential is scary, because I personally think that Q Smith is the best pass rusher in the country. And I told Romeo Crennel that we did a deal up in Louisville, the Hall of Fame, and Romeo was there, and he loves Western football, and he's obviously you guys know he's a big alum, coached here, and we were just talking about the team, and Q was there, and I said, Coach, he's the best pass rusher in the country, But that's what I think. I think he has that potential. Now, does it come true? I hope so, but I think they've got an opportunity to be really good, not just because I think they're good, but they are good. They've been playing together for a while, so they've got a lot of cohesiveness. They've got a lot of veteran leadership. They've played in a lot of games, and then this is going to be their second year in the defense. So I think they got the opportunity to be really good up front. He's got to step it up. We had, you have Jared who's 6'3" or whatever, and he's 275, and you got Bo who's 275. You've basically got two quick defensive tackles playing ends. So you're really able to anchor down defensively on your edges, which helped our defense. But Q knows what he's got to work on. He knows that he has to improve in the run game, and I'm not looking for Q to be a Jarrett type guy or a Bo type guy. We're just gonna lock a guy out and bench press him and shake him and get off the block. I just expect him to hold the point, get off a block, and make a play. But I don't want to see him get knocked off the ball. So he understands what he has to work on, and I told him, I said, if you improve that part of your game, you got an opportunity to be an All-American. Oh, he wanted to know. He's in it, and he's, obviously he's got some other things on his plate right now, the whole Chiefs thing, But he was definitely excited about what we were about because, you kind of think back after Romeo got let go from Cleveland, he was out of it for a little bit. And so he had to consume himself with some other things. And he had consumed himself with Western football again. Even when we went down to FAU the last time we were down there, not this past year with the new stadium, but before then, he was at the game. He and his wife, and they had really immersed themselves in Western football. So he wanted to know. He wanted to know about guys. How's this guy doing? How's this guy doing? So he's excited. He's watching. He's watching. And probably not as much as he used to, but he's watching. And we're excited because anytime our alums and people who have been associated with our school and our program are interested in what we're doing, I think that says a lot for what we're doing. You try to do as much as you can to promote your program. And when you have a guy like Romeo Crennel who is really as you go back in history and look at our program and what he did while he was here as a player and as a coach, you got to use it. Not just him. You have Dale Lindsey and Virgil Ivers, and we got probably one of the best pieces in Western history as our head football coach. And that's a big key. And Coach Fikes and Coach Gilbert and guys that are still around here, we use them as much as we can. So you got to use what you can get.
Well, I think they're working hard. They're a good group that they know what they're doing. They're starting to understand what their defenses are doing. And, of course, they've seen our defense for all of spring and now all of camp. So the good thing about our defenses are so multiple that you get so many different fronts, so many different blitzes, so many different looks that it just plays over into our opponent's schedules. Obviously there's some tweaks and some different things that we'll see throughout the season, but their communication has really stepped up. Now we're looking forward for them to continue to play physical and be a little more physical and give us some more push up front. Well, obviously facility-wise, it's amazing. I was telling the story to our kids the other day about being in the cave, which is my old office, where, it was interesting back there. Needless to say, it was an old storage unit or storage closet. And so to come facility-wise is one thing. Talent-wise is another. We always had great players when we were 1AA. We always got a lot of transfer players, too, that helped out and gave us an extra edge, so to speak, in recruiting and things. But I think now to see our kids come in and go through the whole process, for me the most gratifying thing is to see those guys that bought into the plan we were selling a long time ago when they couldn't win a game or a championship and they couldn't win anything, to now have that opportunity. Those guys last year, even though they didn't get the bowl game, they got 7 wins, which was an incredible accomplishment for them. And then to see these guys this year have all the hype going around that, in town and even throughout the nation about, what's going on here at WKU, I think it's great for those guys, and for us, me and E, we've seen it all. And, it's fun to watch both of us grow as coaches and as people. And, you're talking about him losing all the weight. It's there's nobody happier for him than me because he's Mr. Personality now, and but we've been down there in the back end of the stadium for a long, long time together, and so to be a part of that, and for Willie to have us stick around, and I know I'm very grateful for that, and I know Eric, I'm speaking for him, I guess, but I know he is too because we've talked about it. It's just something gratifying, but in the same breath, 12 games from now, if we're not winning, it ain't the same thing. So we understand what we got to do. We got to get our butts out there and get to work and do whatever we can to put our kids in the best position to win.
I would 100% agree with what Coach Wells said. He and I have been through the fire. We walked through the fire. And not that it was just a completely bad thing. I think it was a process that you go through. You make the transition from being a 1AA to a 1A. There's a lot of things that have to go into it, not just building a great facility, which we have, but you also have to, get the right kids in here. You have to go from 1AA players to 1A players. And I think that's what we've done over the last few years with our recruiting classes. Our coach has done a great job. And it's just, like Coach said, it's fun to see our seniors, kids that are seniors right now, to be able to look up and there's an excitement about WKU football. Because when they first came in, it was like the excitement was, okay, we're moving to 1A. That was the excitement. All right, great, we play one game as 1A. That excitement is worn off. Now there's an excitement about we're a good football program. We've got good players. And I think that excitement alone has got them excited. You can see it in the way they practice. And obviously we've got a good senior class. And I think that having a good senior class allows us to practice the way we practice because we do practice hard and we do practice physical. From a defensive standpoint, I'm fired up by what our offense does, because people just see the end result on Saturdays. I see the process. I see all the crazy, I'm not going to go into it, but it's insane, and as a defense, we've got to try to adjust, and steel sharpens steel. They're going to sharpen us. We're going to sharpen them, and we're getting tougher. We're getting more physical, and I couldn't be more excited for this thing to kick off. Coach Taggart and I were walking over, and he said it's almost here. And as you've been in as long as Coach T, Coach Wells, myself, your body knows what time it is. Your body knows that it's football season. I was joking with Coach. I said, if I wasn't coaching right now, I don't know what the heck I would do because it's almost the beginning of September, and it's football season to start. I would probably go volunteer with Coach Wallace or something just to, have a feel of that football. And it's here, and we're excited about it. We know it's out there, okay? We haven't set sail yet. September the 1st, we set sail. And there's going to be some rocky waters. There's going to be some smooth waters, but we know that the Kentucky Island is out there once we set sail. But we have to set sail first, and Austin Peay is our first destination. And our kids have to be completely locked in. Our coaches have to completely locked in. I've watched Austin Peay on film. They're a good football team. They've got some pretty good weapons. Some guys that scare you, and they do some good things. They got a good scheme, and if we take them lightly or we gloss over it or we think it's going to be a cakewalk, we're going to get our tails embarrassed like we did last year versus Indiana State. And that's not what we want. I think when when the Kentucky game comes, when Alabama game, Southern Miss, Arkansas State, FIU, Troy, Middle, when all those games come, I think our kids will rise to the occasion for that game. But right now we're locked and loaded for Austin Peay, and the Govs will be here September the 1st, and we'll welcome with open arms. I love our running game, because I'm a defensive guy. So I love when we run the ball because that means the defense is sitting on the sideline. I think they've got where last year we had Bobby, and Bobby was tremendous, and he's been tremendous for 2 years. But now it's a different, you got different cats in there now. but I think they all complement each other well. But the one thing that stayed consistent is our offensive line. And I think that those guys are doing a great job of, Coach said it earlier, of figuring things out. Because we're blitzing, we're cutting the front, we're doing different things to try to confuse them, and they're passing things off, they're latching on, they're doing a much better job of what they have in the past. And I think that's by seeing it. So I think our running games will be good. I think our running backs are talented. I think we've got some physical guys. We've got some, I wouldn't call them finesse guys, I'll call them slashers. But we've got guys that complement each other well. So I'm excited. I think we're going to be, Coach T's got his offensive goals, and you can talk to him about it. But I believe they're going to reach those goals because they're good over there. They're really good. I think it's just more than anything, it's a reminder. It's a reminder. Nebraska used to do the black shirts, but it's a reminder of really what are you working for. If you didn't care, I don't want you around me. I want our true freshmen to believe I want those red pants just like a senior has them. I want guys to compete, and I think that's a really big deal. The kids are proud kids. They may not say, Coach, I want those red pants. But in the back of their mind, I want those red pants, because they're all competitors. And I think that's going to make our football team better, and it's a good thing.